So I was doing some research last night and I saw that the clutch on the Ranger, well, a lot of Fords are 1 inch by 23 spines. So I'm here to rip off the clutch and flywheel and see if it'll maybe work with the LT77, and that would kind of fix my problem of not having a flywheel for the LT77. So I'm hoping this will work and I can adapt that onto the Volkswagen motor. So let's get going. I told myself to like put my glasses on and burn my head off.
Maybe we'll take the exhaust off too.
Yeah.
Chop the exhaust.
Yeah. Ideally we'd chop it like way up there.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it can drop down.
So I'll do that and then I'll go on the other side.
Yeah.
So here it is. This is the flywheel out of the Ford Ranger. Also ordered a Ranger starter down here. I had stolen it off the parts truck already. Chinese clutch, yay. The spline is like kind of slack. I'm not very impressed with it. On the right side, if the adapter is wrong, it'll eat up a cheap clutch and not like an expensive one. Okay, so I want to find the depth of this thrust bearing. I want to know where this thing sits so that I can after that make my flywheel adapter, because I need to know how far that flywheel needs to sit. Ford Ranger pressure plate and Ford Ranger flywheel, but everything behind that is going to be Land Rover still. So everything should be off-the-shelf parts, theoretically. I've got a measurement to go from this face to the surface of the thrust bearing. So I measured this lip to go off of the exterior of it, like so, right here. And now I'm going to measure to the thrust bearing. I'm also going to put a hose clamp back there to keep the thrust bearing from pushing any further. Sure. That's where we want that, apparently. So now I know that this bushing is going to be pretty much riding in the flywheel. Really? Alright, so this is the bell housing, this is the TDI motor. On the back here we have a vacuum pump, and this interferes terribly with the firewall. It goes out about 3 inches from the block, so it's really a problem. This makes it, if I want to clear the firewall without chopping into it, I need to have a 7-inch adapter, so that's really no good. So I'm gonna have to cut into the firewall a bit to do a compromise between staying behind the axle here and not having too much interference with the firewall. I'm definitely gonna have to cut into it like at least an inch, I believe. I really want this adapter to be as short as possible, and I don't care about cutting into the firewall. That's just some sheet steel, so there's no big deal there. I need to be wary of the heater that goes behind this, because it might not fit anymore if I push it back. So, alright, today we're making this part. This is the mount on the driver's side transmission. Pretty exciting. We're going to get that transmission and transfer case mounted, and then we can start figuring out the whole motor. So once I have that mounted permanently, I can really measure off of it and see how thick I have to make my adapter plate for the bell housing to either kick the motor forwards or back. cut this out. I think it's gonna be pretty good like this, but there's always some modifications to do. It's not like this plasma cutter is actually precise in any way. Well, it's actually my hand that we have to blame, but at least everything should be kind of straight. Should be okay. Wow, that thing's dull. Sure, what happened to that one? Alright, I'm afraid we're gonna have to sharpen this. Oh, wow. We get sun like once a year here, so this is really good. Back to work now. I'm not quite sure what these other holes are for, but I decided to make it part of my mount to make it more strong. So let's just see if all these holes on. Wow, it's like I was meant to be. Well, that now. Looking pretty good. Better. I feel like there's still too much wire here. It's too fat, too tall. Oh, there you go. Alright, so now that those brackets are painted, I can finally mount the transmission and transfer case. As you can see, I put some panels on the truck back there, so you'll be seeing that very soon. It's really nice to finally see that thing with actual body panels on it, because for a while there I was getting pretty depressed about how nothing looks like nothing. The truck doesn't look like anything until it's got those green panels on it. So now it's getting a bit it's getting to a more motivating stage. I'm really glad to see that some people are actually interested in the build. As always, if you guys have any suggestions, tips and comments, anything, I'm super open to anything you guys have to say. So stick around.
Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.